Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing off my overlap shape framework that I'm working on. Basically leverages the Physics.Overlap scripting provided within Unity. Allows you to handle basically anything regarding the Physics.Overlap scripting, all from within the editor. There's no coding involved. So at the core, we have right here an overlap shape manager, and we can see that references a shape. It actually references this box and an overlap cube. And you can see here, since it's currently referencing the box, I can quickly switch over to a sphere if I wanted to. And that references the overlap sphere here. It's highly customizable in that regard. You can change shapes literally whenever you want. And then next we have the offset manager, which references this vector3 scriptable object manager, which references a scriptable object, which is this scriptable object here. So the offset, maybe you need this overlap shape game object to move. However, you want the box to be offset from that, and maybe having a simple child won't work. So you can have the offset. The position of the game object itself is not changing, it's still 0, 0, 0. However, the overlap shape continues to move. And again, this is true for any of the shapes. So that's the offset manager, and then we have basic config. We got a layer mask, basically whatever the overlap shape is allowed to hit and detect. And then we have orientation. So by default it will be on shape manager, meaning based on the position of the shape manager or the rotation of it, the overlap shape will follow through. However, if we want it to be on the shape itself, we can change the shape itself. Change its rotation, and the overlap will fix. Let me show shape manager. Now if I change this, nothing's going to happen, because I have it set to the overlap shape now, once again. And shape, and then none. So regardless of the overlap shape or the shape itself, it will not rotate. Then, going down to debugs, we can choose to show those bounds or not. We're going to leave that on. And you have the ability to customize it to whatever color you would like. And then we have the overlap manager. The overlap manager, by default, the overlap shapes do not cast themselves. What actually happens is you need an outside function or method to call it, and it will return to call the cast, and it will return a set of colliders that are currently hitting it whenever that frame is called. So So Overlap Manager helps with that. It grabs those, it calls the cast, grabs the colliders, and makes sense of it. And then Overlap Manager Event Invoker grabs the information, the organized information from the Overlap Manager, and turns it into a Unity event familiar system, compatible system. You can see they all reference kind of going up in a hierarchy here. Overlap Manager references Overlap Shape. Overlap Manager Event Invoker references the Overlap Manager. So again, the Event Invoker relays that event and invokes it, and we have what's called the Overlap Persistence Controller, which gives us a neat, unique system where we're able to tell when and what collider enters, when it stays in collision, and when it exits collision. So if you see here, I have this cube here with a box collider on it, and I'm just going to simply go ahead and move it, and once I enter the bounds, a collider entered and a collider stayed. Now, let's move back out. A collider exited. And you can do anything with that information. Again, you can see here the parameters are a collider itself, which would be this cube 1 here. And you can react accordingly. And then you also have a parameter for the Overlap Persistence Controller, which will give you a reference back to the Overlap Shape Manager if need be, if you need to go back that far. You know, with it being overlap shapes, you might not want, with it being Physics.Overlap, you may not want these casts to be happening every single frame, so that's up to you to decide when that cast happens. For me, I am just doing it in the update for these testing purposes. However, you could easily tie this to, you know, when the user presses the fire button or jumps, what have you. Now let's go into the actual shapes themselves. So you see here, you know, you can have basically any shape doing whatever it needs to be. If this box wants to be this far up, and we're based on the shape, then so be it. And then if for whatever reason you need to change to the sphere is back at the origin, you can go ahead and do that. Incredible customizability. There's a lot you can do with it. Again, this is all done with zero code. And then to wrap things up, I'm going to explain, you know, the scriptable object manager. I created kind of a helper class where you know, there isn't just a vector3 value pertaining to these overlap shapes. You have currently two methods. I don't see the need for more at the moment, or there hasn't been any use cases. However, it's totally up to you. For instance, this one references just a vector3 scriptable object, and this game object, or in this script, just references a vector3 field. However, you could create your own class. You know, for instance, if you have your own class that has a vector3 and you want to use that vector3 as the offset, you can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch from using the scriptable object manager here to the mono manager. And you can see different values. And I can change this in real time. So yep, thank you. Please let me know what you think. If you would like this to get into your hands, I would be glad to make that possible. Thanks.